we'd like to start off with something slightly, let's say, less formal. And having seen your profile, I think people like you, Asad Umar Saab, they brought in a lot of young Pakistanis, back into sort of taking interest in the overall political landscape for the country. And I was just curious to know your unique journey from the corporate sector to the political sphere. Did GK, LBS, and McKinsey prepare you well for your foray into the political landscape of Pakistan?
Ji, I think that having lived abroad for about 15 years before coming in, I'm always keen to connect with people from the diaspora. And I'd like to thank you all for inviting me. I'd like to thank the Consul General for his kind remarks. And we'll hopefully be using his services as well. To answer your question, look, obviously, I think everything in life that you do prepares you for what's next if you want to. And I think it has been an interesting journey. If you ask me anywhere along the line whether I would at some point be sitting as a representative of government, I wouldn't have been able to answer that. But something that I can tell you that I've always wanted to do while we being based abroad is to contribute to Pakistan. And so in that sense, it is something that I feel that there was an ambition, and I am living that ambition. Does something like my background, whether that's GIK, I had a mechanical engineering degree from there. I spent 6 years in the oil and gas business. I then did an MBA from London Business School, spent almost a decade at McKinsey, became a partner there. Does all of that prepare you? Of course it does, because ultimately we need good talent that has seen the world to come back and try and fix what we feel is wrong in our country. And I think to that context, it is important that in terms of people who come back and work in Pakistan, that there's a blend, right? That we have a blend of people that is helping to run things in the country, that includes people who have something to offer from what they've seen and done in the world. Yes. And that certainly includes people who are born and bred and lived and have experienced every second of their life in Pakistan. I think there's space for everyone. But what I do think is, and this is what I'll say is that, and this has always been a strong thought, that if you feel that you have something to contribute, and if you feel that you've been blessed enough to be able to give something back, however difficult the circumstances or challenging it may seem to change a place like Pakistan, I've always felt that one has an obligation to try. And that is what actually drove me. So it actually felt like everything that I'd done, the experience that I had, and the fact that I came from a background where I could afford to take risk and come back, and I felt that I'd achieved enough that it almost didn't matter if I succeeded or I didn't succeed. It is important that enough of us get together and change what we think needs to be changed about Pakistan. And in that sense, certainly every second of my life prepared me for that.